All right, so today we'll be taking a look at a really fancy Apple Watch band. I mean, specifically Apple Watch Ultra, but this band is actually compatible with a bunch of different Apple Watches from 44 millimeters all the way up to the 49 millimeter Ultra version. So what I have here is the new Apple Watch Titanium Milanese loop. Milanese? Mayonnaise? This is essentially the fancy metal band that Apple announced during the launch event for the Apple Watch Ultra 2 in satin black here. This new band comes in two different colors. You can get it in the black version for the satin black Ultra 2, or you can get it in a raw titanium finish for the standard Apple Watch Ultra 2. I'm just gonna get this thing out of the box so we can take a closer look at it. Got the little peel tabs on the side here. Whoop, and open this up, and it's packaged just like any Apple Watch band. And there it is. Wow, that is really cool looking. So personally, myself, I'm not really a fancy band or metal bracelet kind of guy, but this one looks actually pretty interesting because it kind of solves a lot of the issues that I have with fancy metal bands. I do have another fancy band here. I'm gonna use that term throughout this video, fancy band. Some of the limitations that this band has that I find a little bit annoying are sizing it. It's like a traditional watch band where you have to size it to your wrist, and then you gotta use this really complicated mechanism, probably not that complicated, but it's more than I want to do, to actually remove pins inside this band in order to adjust it to your wrist. And that's something that Apple has solved with this new Milanese loop. And I'm pretty excited because I've never seen this band in person before, and all the videos I saw from the launch event, this clasp mechanism, I'm a huge nerd for this sort of thing, looks oddly satisfying. So what they did here is it's some sort of like parachute inspired clasp mechanism. Like, I don't go skydiving, but that's what they said in the marketing material. And essentially, I think you have to pull these two pins at the same time, and then it comes undone. And to secure it back in, you just kind of slide it back in there and push, and it clicks. And I tell you what, that is satisfying. Installing this thing is kind of tricky because this metal doesn't really want to bend sideways too much. And in order to get the other side of the band in this slot on the Apple Watch Ultra 2, I do have to sort of bend the band, as you can see there. And when I do that, it puts it at a weird angle and it kind of rubs strange going through the groove. But once you get it on there, it's no big deal. Apple also mentioned that this parachute clasp here is also super secure. So if you only push one side of this, it doesn't unlatch. Like, it's pretty secure. So you can't accidentally bump this and have it fall off. You do have to press both at the same time to unlatch that. Then you can remove the watch pretty easily. Another thing I immediately noticed about this band is the weight of it. It feels extremely lightweight. And I'm curious, if I put this on my scale here, this band comes in at 33 grams. Now, if we compare that to a more traditional titanium band like this one here, that band comes in at 76 grams. So more than double the weight of the Milanese loop here. And finally, if we take a look at more traditional silicone band like this Nike band here, this band's 28 grams. So really, you're getting a metal bracelet that really dresses up your watch quite a bit, and you're not really paying a weight penalty at all. The way this watch band adjusts is basically there's this little flap in the back here, which is actually the locking mechanism. So what you do is you pop that up, as you can see there, and now I'm able to actually slide the clasp mechanism around the band. So in order to adjust it to my wrist, I simply remove that end. I'm gonna put my wrist in there. Go ahead and secure the clasp here, or kind of eyeball where it should be. And now I can lock it down. Now that we've got the band on my wrist here, a couple of quick facts about it. First of all, the price. This band does come in at $199, which is very expensive for a watch band. You're talking a pretty large chunk of money there. However, if you compare it to other titanium bands on the market, like the one I have here, it's actually pretty comparable when it comes to price. Another key fact about this band is that, yes, it does come in two different colors. You've got the black version here and the raw titanium look, if you prefer that as well. And finally, this band does come in three different sizes. You've got small, which is good for 130 to 160 millimeter wrists. Then you've got medium, which is the size I have here, which is good for 155 to 165 millimeter circumference wrists. And finally, you do have large, which is good for really big wrists from 180 to 210 millimeters. Now, for reference, I do have 165 millimeter circumference wrists, and as you can see here, a medium fits me just about perfectly. It lands the clasp right on the back of my wrist here. Another key feature about the Milanese loop here is that it is a carbon neutral product from Apple, and that does mean they've actually made this with 95% recycled titanium, which is something I do appreciate. When it comes to comfort, I did just put this thing on my wrist, but I gotta be honest, this is one of the more comfortable metal bracelets that I've ever tried. I've tried a handful of these other more traditional metal bracelets here that I always find to sort of pinch my hair or my skin, and they can just be a little bit uncomfortable over time. But this one actually feels surprisingly nice, and I think I could actually go for a run with this. And if you were curious what the black titanium Milanese loop looked like on the regular Apple Watch Ultra 2, the non-black one, here it is. And it does look kind of interesting. Actually, it doesn't look bad by any means, but those attachment points look kind of funny because the finish is different. All right, that's really it. That is the black titanium Milanese loop for the Apple Watch Ultra 2, or any Apple Watch for that matter. And I guess the only other question that's to be determined is going to be durability. As you've seen in a recent video from me, I tested the durability of the black Apple Watch Ultra 2 here, and it held up quite well. So I'm hopeful that this Milanese loop is pretty expensive and has the same DLC coating as the watch. It'll hold up quite well as well. But now I want to hear from you. Do you have a black titanium Milanese loop? Has it held up well? Have you scratched it? Has the watch band scratched your watch? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. All right, friends, that is the end of this video, and that is the titanium black Milanese loop from Apple. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider dropping down, giving me the thumbs up, subscribing to the channel down below so you don't miss more videos like this in the future. And while you're down there, also check out the links in the description where you can go and buy your very own Apple Milanese loop and Apple Watch Ultra 2 in black, or any of the other watches that I showed in this video. And after you go shopping, also check out the links to my other social media accounts, my Strava, my Instagram, my Threads account, all the stuff down there. And of course, my website and merch store where you can pick up a sweet hat like that. Check that out. Chase the Summit. All right, friends. I'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, that's it. Okay, bye.